You can't smell this, but it smells lovely. 73. Geisha. Geisha, geisha, geisha. I don't know what it is about geisha that people love and adore, but it's just another coffee that it smells better than it tastes. You can't beat the smell of geisha. Floral, fruity. You know, they have that unique characteristics of something so intense in your nose that you almost forget what you're drinking. I don't think we talk about that enough, right? If that makes any sense. Anybody want to know? 2 minutes and 15 seconds. This right here is a Nicaraguan Gesha. I got a lot of coffee recently, and it's almost 4 weeks off roast, and I'm drinking it. This is actually my second time drinking this particular geisha, and it's like all the other ones, at least to me. I've tasted so many different types of geishas that, for the most part, they're flat. It doesn't represent the same as when you smell it. And I would say that's a problem. But in truth, it is what it is. I'm just being honest about the likeness of it that I don't have. So let's take our first sip. If you were to put coffee side by side and drink them objectively, would you pick out that this is geisha, this is revolutionary, that this is something that you will want to drink? I think for most of us, no. I'm not saying that it's that unique to where you can decipher exactly if this is a geisha or not. But I guess what I'm saying here is that it's coffee. And I know it sounds really messed up, just saying that it's just coffee. And we love and adore coffee. But at the end of the day, it's coffee. Is it different and unique enough for you to spend sometimes 2 times, 3 times the amount of money that you're going to be spending on it? I don't think so. I have never really thought that way. I bought it anyway, just because I wanted to see what it was all about. And the beauty about the situation that I'm in is that I have plenty of roasters to roast the coffee. I can roast it different profiles. I can do a light roast profile. I can do a fast. I can do a slow roast. I can do a medium roast coffee, which I will do eventually in a dark roast. Those are the things that I can do in order to represent this coffee the best that I can. And don't get me wrong, I have gotten geisha that I didn't roast. Still felt the same. It wasn't exciting me. It didn't give me that thing that people go to when they think about legendary, revolutionary, impactful coffee. And I thought that this particular geisha was going to be a little bit different. But in truth, it's more so the same. It's just like a badge that you have on, and you don't have to actually live up to that hype. As long as it smells right, has the floral notes, it has some type of, fruity acidity on it, but not too offensive, which this one is. Is it clean? Yeah, it's very clean. I know last time when I tasted it when it was hot, and then it got better when it cooled down. It kind of had a little bit more character, personality as the coffee cooled down. It was just something that I wanted and needed to really try to understand more. As you ask people and contemplate what they're saying, I just can't help not isolate it. I cannot isolate this particular type of varietal because you can't isolate geisha. You can't isolate majority of coffees because it's always a comparison game. There's always something that we're doing in order to see if something is better than the next thing or a variation of whatever that may be. And then we finally make our conclusions of if we like it, if we don't like it. There's always going to be comparison in coffee. You always think about how this coffee is representing your excitement in that morning, in that evening, with friends and family. You're always thinking about how this coffee is going to do or be for you while you're drinking it and trying to understand it and enjoy it. But I'll tell you the truth, you're thinking about geisha all the time, especially when you're drinking, especially when you pay 2 to 3 times the amount of money. And then you're wondering, have you been bamboozled when you drink and sip? And then when you go to another coffee that you're used to or accustomed to, you're like, I think I like this one better. But then you're like, wait. I don't know if I like it better because this one's so much more money. I'm getting misty eyes because I'm thinking that I'm supposed to be drinking something revolutionary. And if I don't understand it right now, then there's a problem with me. There's no problem with you. You like what you like. If you like geishas, it's your jam, let it be. Let it be what it is. But as its present form, yes, this is on the verge of a medium light roast. But this is probably where you really want it, I guess. And all it's doing for me is pissing me off. And this is just me being real with you about this coffee. I'm not trying to take anything away from the farmers who produced it and how it's a finicky bean, as they say. And yes, different profiles, different roasts. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, blah, 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 blah. It is what it is. There's only so many profiles that you can do in order to bring out the essence of the coffee. If it tastes the way it tastes the way it tastes. And if you like the way it tastes, then that's the only thing that matters. If you don't like the way it tastes, that's perfectly fine too. But something about the smell, and when you really think about it, most coffees do smell lovely, especially after they're roasted. After a couple of days, it's just vibrant, it's just loud, and it's just something that you gravitate to. Some coffees represents the smell a lot better compared to others. But this particular coffee, the way it is that it's high without even putting it in your mouth. At least for me. Again, I'm talking about me. You may think it's just keeps going. It gets better. It's more tea-like. It's more expressive. It talks, it sings, it just wakes you up. It gives you a different perspective about what coffee is. If that's you, great. But it's interesting now just thinking about this whole geisha thing and how the marketing is what it is. Beans smuggled or taken from Ethiopia, grown somewhere else, doing its own thing, heirloom, and it's that much more magical the way it grows and how difficult it is. Geisha kind of reminds me of like saffron. When you have a dish back to back from saffron compared to not, you're like, is there a difference? Yes, a difference. Does it make it that much better? If you're really honest with yourself, you'll probably say no. you know? But the uniqueness of saffron really, and the allure of it, is the processing, how hard it is. And then at times when you think about geisha, it's kind of like almost on the same level as saffron, meaning that it's a harder bean to grow. It doesn't yield as much. It has to be very high altitude. But then when you get it right, you process it. After you process it, and then you get this thing that just seems a little bit different. You get this smell that just comes rushing into your mouth, into your nostrils, and you're just wondering, wow, this is quite amazing. And then again, the yield is not as much. So even though they're very finicky and picky of the way that it's grown, that also adds to the cost. Farmers got to get paid, right? And then there's marketing behind it. It's telling you it's magical, it's great. It does all these wonderful things for you. It'll cure cancer. It'll make you feel like a better person. It'll do all these things for you. And then when you actually sip it and drink it, you're wondering if you've been duped. You're wondering if you are missing something. You're wondering if your palate is as mature as somebody else who's telling you all these nice flowery tasting notes and things that are amazing and great. And it's okay if you are at the level that you're at with this coffee thing. But it's okay to be honest too. If it's just okay, it's just okay, right? And if it's not better with all the other stuff that you have, that's perfectly fine. And if you just want to taste it again just to see how cool and magical it is, do that. But please don't second guess yourself. If it fails you after the smell, say that it does. It's okay, because at the end of the day, it's just coffee, right? This is just coffee. This is just something that we're drinking. And we put so many different labels and titles and expectations around coffee, which is perfectly fine. I do it all the time. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. See, I've already brewed it 2 different ways, and I'm getting more so the same. Like I said, it's pretty much cool right now, and it's getting a little bit better. Still trying to decipher what I'm tasting. A 1:17 ratio, very tea-like, but it is what it is, and that's perfectly fine. So geishas, I don't really care for them. They are what they are. They're not exciting. I am going to roast it differently, probably a little bit more developed. I know people may hate when I say more developed. It may shine as a dark roast. It may be just right as a medium roast. Light roast is just okay, but it doesn't really matter for me for the most part with geishas. That's the way I've been feeling for a very long time. And if you have that coffee that somebody's telling you that is magical, that is great, and you keep coming back to it and you're like, it's shit, then it's shit to you. Okay? This is Oak Everyday Beans signing off. I'll talk to you later. Bye.